pedestal a little bit, so we weren't of the same. Michael comes to the games now at Liverpool and he loves it. So many players who never got the chance to play for Liverpool, they come now and they go, why didn't I play? Why, you know?
Thierry Henry's one, he loves it.
Thierry Henry's another one, but I generally think, you know, Mourinho. Mourinho's another one, isn't he? No, Mourinho comes to Anfield, he looks around and he goes, this is made for.
Well, what was your biggest regret in Liverpool? Do you have any? Getting to play more European Cup after.
Yeah, that was a. I mean, people say to me, how many European Cups did you win? I didn't win any. You know, I was there, part of one in the 86, 85 in Iceland, and then we didn't play for 6 years. By the time we were allowed back in,
we could have 3 or 4.
Yeah. Well, I always look at the teams who won it. PSV Eindhoven, Benfica, Steaua Bucharest.
These were unbeatable.
Maybe there would have been 1 or 2 more for Liverpool. So no massive regrets. I could have joined Barcelona in 1990, which would have been nice. But instead of that, you know, I ended up spending 12 years at Liverpool. After having retired, I'm still there. Life would have certainly been different if I had joined Barcelona in 1990. No great regrets.
All right, Jan.
Where are you from?
From Bristol, mate. Just have one question for you. Do you want another bevy? Alright, then I got the next one.
Now let me, somebody just said to me before. Somebody said to me before. He said, "I'm going to ask you a few non-footballing questions," and
that's one of them.
Let me just tell you this story now. It's not rude, but it kind of could be. The way it depends on the way you read the story. Yeah. Glad you did that. In 1987, we signed this player, and on his first pre-season tour with Sweden, we're in the hotel bar about 4 o'clock in the morning having a little drink.
As you do for all drink.
And this player in question walks into the bar with a young Swedish girl on his arm, sharing a room with Gary Gillespie. And as he walks into the bar, Gary goes, any chance of... any chance of a bit of a watch, like? So this player in question goes, all right then, he says, here's the key to the room. He said, run down the room. He said, leave the door open so I can get in, and then hide in the wardrobe. 5 minutes later, this player walks into the room and he says to this young girl, he says, I hope you don't mind. He said, I am a little bit kinky. He said, obviously I like my women to strip off. He said, and once you're naked, he said, I like to open the window so you can sort of hang out the window just with your backside sticking up in the air. He said, then I close the curtains. He said, and then I'll make love to you. Is that okay? She went, yeah, that's fine, yeah. So he gets it all set up, young girl hanging out the window, arse up in the air, curtains closed. He then gets Gary Gillespie out the wardrobe. And he says to Gary, go on then, son, he said, help yourself. While Gary's at it, this player in question leaves the room, gets a lift down to the ground floor, walks around to the front of the hotel, and goes...
That's the best story. That's the winner right there. That's the winner. That's the best story.
She didn't take that well at all. As I said, there's...
Pizza Man.
She did wait to see him in the dark, though.
Okay, this is my first time here on match day, representing from LFC today.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's a good time. I was going to ask, well, since the market's so inflated right now, and since, you know, we're having problems developing, that's an important part of the club, is developing youth club.
Oh yeah, I mean, when the academy sort of came in for real in the late 90s, and I think a lot of people thought this is going to be the saviour of English football generally. It hasn't quite worked out like that. I mean, it is difficult. That's the only thing I will say, it is difficult. I mean, you have to be able to make it a Liverpool 15, 16, 17, 18 years of age, you have to be one of the 10 best players in the world in your position. If you're not, you're not very little interested in them. I mean, all they'll be doing is just paying you before they eventually release you. So it is very, very difficult. But it is something that we have. What I don't like, I like these iconic football clubs, and I know, well, you mentioned Ajax, because you know the Ajax kids never changes. You know the way they play, never changes. Whoever's the coach of the first team makes no difference to the rest of the football club. Barcelona's the same, Bayern Munich's the same. People go, yeah, but you don't always get it right. I said, no, of course, but you can't always get it right, can you? But over the period of time, over the last 30 years, they've got it right more times than they got it wrong. And I don't know why we can't be like that. Why can't we just be in an iconic strip that is our strip? Why can't we just play our way, 4-4-2 or 3-5, wherever, but this is the way we play. Regardless of who's the manager of the football club, the youth is still the same. Every team plays the same. We change this every year. 3 years ago, Steve Ivey was let go. He used to play a certain way. Then we brought in a Dutch guy called Piet Hamburger, who then encouraged all the players to dribble. Typical Dutch, dribble, dribble, dribble. So we've now appointed something in Barcelona. Now what do the kids do? They pass. You know, we haven't got a clue how we want to take it forward. And I find that more than anything else is unforgivable for a club like Liverpool. We are big enough to be who we are. We don't have to. We are who we are. And I think you'd be more happy than you go, I know what we do. I know how we play. I know how the kid's going to look. I know exactly what we're all about. And I find that we don't do that. To the extent that it pisses me off. No, it does. You know, we are big enough to be who we are. You know.
When we sold Alonso, did we sell the title?
When we sold Alonso, well, now Alonso is a funny thing, isn't it? Because some people say that Rafa had no choice. Now, in the end, Rafa had no choice. Yeah. But I think Rafa, to a certain extent, engineered that situation. You know, let me just stress one thing. I like Rafa. I have a lot of time for Rafa. And I actually feel sorry for him.
We all do,
You know,
but like his decision sometimes.
His decision, you know, I think sometimes his decision accelerates the problems that we actually get on the pitch, you know, by not doing the most official thing, isn't it? You know, we all scream at it, we go, why not Benayoun today? Well, why is Josina playing? Little things like that, isn't it? So I actually like Rafa. I have an awful lot of time for him. What was it? What am I talking about? Now Alonso, in the summer of 2008, we all know what happened, and he tried to sell Alonso, even to the extent that Juventus could have had him for 12 million, and they didn't want it because they thought he was too slow.
He had 2 brutal seasons.
Yeah, but see, the problem with Alonso, and let me tell you, if you look at Alonso, 06, 07, 07, 08, he didn't play enough games. There's only one way. There's only one way of keeping Alonso fit is by playing him. You can't train him to keep him fit. Some players play once a month, it makes no difference to them. But Alonso has to play to be fit. So if you don't win the title this year, I'll let you go. But also what we shouldn't forget is, for Spanish players, the ultimate, Real Madrid, Barcelona. You know, so we shouldn't forget that. I wouldn't have took 50 million for Alonso, and people go, that's a lot of money. I said, yeah. They say that's a lot of money for somebody who never scores any goals. And I said, yeah, but there's no one to replace him.
We've fallen apart since he left.
Aquilani is 8.